Hello and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov guide. Today we're going to be going over how to kill Killa effectively and make some good money when doing it. Killa spawns on interchange and he spawns on the left hand side. You'll see it's like the first floor. Some people call it the ground floor, some people call it the first floor. It's the shop, where, the area where Mantis is, the Kibba store, that sort of area. And in red, that's where you'll probably find him. Now he can spawn a little further down to the left, towards where Techlight would be if it was on the second floor, but I would just mainly hunt for him in those areas. Now on the right, the areas in red is where you can shoot down into the first floor from the second. I would always recommend trying to snipe him from the second floor, simply because there's less chance he's going to start shooting you and wasting all of those ridiculously overpriced bullets he has, and you're going to be above any player that tries to take him on in CQB. Now Killa has 830 health total, with 70 health in his head slot alone, so you're going to want a beefy round to take him out with one headshot, like an SNB round. Some 7.62 by 51s would do it, an M61, M62, they would do it. But there is an additional problem. Now you'll see the weapons he uses in the middle, all very dangerous weapons, even the PP-19, and on the right you'll see his armour. Now what's special about his armour is his chest rig is level 5, so it's very difficult to penetrate without the right rounds, and his helmet, the masker helmet, the entire helmet is class 4, but the face shield is class 6. And that brings us on to what weapons you want to use. Personally, I would not recommend a bolt action, even though I have killed him in this video with a Mosin. And if you are on the quest to do 100 kills, you might want to take that route, because you might get a lot more of them back in insurance, and it might make more financial sense to use a bolt action. But I would recommend a semi-automatic like the M1A, the SVD. If you want a fully automatic, the AKM is a good choice for BPs, and the AK-74 is also a good choice. You see the weapon on the left, and the ammo I would recommend using. And here is the next set of weapons I would also consider to take against him, the Hunter being a really cheap option and a really nice option to kill him with. My preferred method would be to take an SVD to the second floor and try and get him through, little glass railings. That's what I would do. But if you want to take him on in a close quarters engagement, you can use a VSS MP7, the HK M4, anything that's fully automatic that fires a really high penetrating round. Even the P90, I use the P90 in this video to kill him as well. It's just a case of getting through that level 5 armor. Problem with going through CQB against him is you ruin his armor, which is one of his most expensive items that you can sell. For armor, I recommend honestly just the level 4 chest rig. The armor chest rig, you can get it like level 2, level 3 Ragman. Reason being is, if you're killing them for money, you don't want to be wasting a lot of money on the kit you're bringing in, and that'll save you from most scavs and a lot of players that don't bring in the right armor. If you don't feel comfortable in that, you can upgrade yourself to a Gen 4, but if you find yourself in a situation where you've got into a fight and your armor's shredded, then you can always switch out to Killer's armor to get that out with, and the bag would just be a tri-zip or a Berkut, something that blends in. Now this is the loot you can expect to get from him. His helmet, again, is a very expensive helmet. It's worth 130,000 even in a damaged state. And then you have his armor, which is a level 5 armor, and it's worth 200,000. Even completely broken is worth 200,000. That's what I priced that off on the flea market. Now the RPK, this is the weapon you want him to spawn with, because when he has that RPK, chances are he has a buttload of rounds. And the rounds, if you get the max amount of Golnik rounds from him, you get a ton of money. The 30 rounders are about 30,000. The 60 rounders are about 30,000 rubles each, so that's a lot of money right there. And again, here, all those mags had 7N39 in them, 275 rounds, totaling 275,000 rubles, 1,000 rubles per shot. And the best thing about this is not, it doesn't take up a lot of room for all these things. You can just go with a chest rig, no armor and that sort of thing. An armor chest rig, and you're not missing out on a lot of room. The grenades, I would definitely recommend picking up 94,000 in grenades, and that's because for some reason those smoke grenades are worth 16,000 each. I think it's because you can use 2 smokes and some M67 grenades in the workbench to make a green gunpowder. I could be wrong about that. Right, again, I killed him a second time and he had the masker helmet and he had the armor. he should have that every single time you fight him. So even if you just kill him once, you know, you confirm to get at least 330,000 rubles on one kill on the armor and the helmet alone. Now the AKMS was pretty much a dud. It's not a very good weapon. I mean it is, but his version's not very good, and it always spawns with T45 ammo, not BPs, so the ammo isn't even worth taking. If there were BPs, that would be an extra nearly 70-90k just in rounds alone, but it's not. However, this second kill was saved by the addition of that key card. If you happen to kill Killa, loot the pockets first. Like every other boss in the game, loot his pockets first, for the simple fact of that is where the most expensive item spawns. If he spawns a red key card in there, or any chromatic key card, you want to know about it and you want to get that in your secure container, because even if you die after getting that in your secure container, you can still use the red key card to rake in money hand over fist in labs. And as you can see from those two kills, I got quite a bit of money, you know, nearly 2 million, give or take. If the first one had had a key card in his pocket like they often do, it would have been ridiculous money. So 2 kills, I would say you get 750,000 rubles per kill. Now he has a couple of tips. Don't get shot, which is a big you know, goes without saying, but more importantly, don't get shot, because every time he shoots you, he could be wasting 30 to 60 grand of rubles in spraying, you know, that good ammo at you. So if you take him on from a distance and dome him with one headshot, you stand to make more money than someone that goes in and fights him, you know, toe to toe. Second, if you're up on the second floor, keep an eye on Tech Light. It's the bottom left of the map, but you've seen at the start of this video. Reason being is that's where people are going to come from. Tech Light and that medical key place there, that is where players are likely to charge you from if you start fighting Killa. Third, I would always start at the Kibba store, because if someone's managed to hit the power button or is trying to camp the Kibba store, you know, you're more likely to start there, find either Killa or a player engaged with Killa, than if you start with the other stores. I would start there and work your way around. Again, loot the pockets first. That's like main priority. And I'd also take painkillers before descending the escalator. So if you fight him and kill him and you're on top of the second story and you're going to go down into that fight, take some painkillers. I can't tell you the amount of times I haven't taken a painkiller, walked down those escalators and I've got my legs blacked instantly, and you've got nowhere to go. You either decide to run back or you've got to go down and charge in front. Always take a painkiller, and that way you don't end up stuck on those death traps. And you know, Killa doesn't have any guards. Probably should have mentioned that at the start, but he's just by himself. And there is 2 quests to kill him. One for the Huntsman path sellout, and the other one's the stylish one. You have to kill him once, and then you have to kill him 100 times for the second time. So I would be confident in saying Killa is probably the most sought after and hunted boss in Escape from Tarkov. So just be aware, if you're going to kill Killa, there's going to be competition. So here you can see my method of killing Killa, which is to go up the top and just look down this sort of like, you know, complete end-to-end pass-through of the main mall, the inside. Because from here you can see pretty much all the way down in front of Kibba, and on your left there's Tech Light, so that's what you've got to be worried about, is people pushing you from there. But just tagged by a scarf here. It's another problem with my method, is there is scarves on the top here, but I do get into less fights on the second story of Interchange rather than the first story. It's usually all concentrated around the Tech Light area and then Idea. And that's probably going to be it for this video. I'm going to leave you with watching this kill of Killa and showing that the method works. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you need any videos making, just drop me a message in the comments below. I plan on making a Sturman guide and a Reshala guide, because I did Gluhar yesterday. I think personally I would rank them Sturman, Gluhar, Reshala, then Killa. I think Killa's easier to kill the most because there's only one of them. And feel free to correct me in the comments below if I've made any errors with this guide. You know, it's all about information, getting the information out there, making sure everyone, especially new players, have that information available so they can make the most of Escape from Tarkov. And if you know of any little tips and tricks that you use personally to deal with killing bosses and, you know, potentially engaging PMCs whilst killing bosses, feel free to drop them down below as well. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.